Bank of America CEO Brian Moynihan speaking out to CNBC's Kayla Tausche today in an exclusive interview, hitting a range of topics from banking to climate funding ahead of COP26. Kayla joins us now with the key takeaways. Kayla.
Hey, Wilf. Brian Moynihan co-chairs an effort with the Prince of Wales called the Sustainable Markets Initiative that aims to coordinate the way that global corporations are working toward their climate goals. And the conversations that are going to be happening at the G-20 and COP26 come as the Biden administration is pursuing its own strategy on climate regulation, mandating new disclosures, declaring climate a systemic risk, and even exploring stress testing the issue. Moynihan, in our exclusive interview, said that latter one, at this point, that exercise is still big picture.
How are you handling this risk, and how do you think of them over a long-term horizon? What are near-term risks? It's in the principles now. It's not necessarily numerically defined yet.
The White House had hoped to enter talks in Glasgow with a framework on climate and a big dollar commitment to try to reclaim a leadership role on climate with global partners. And I asked Moynihan whether $500 billion, as reported right now, would be enough to do that.
Governments have a role of the money they spend, but also the incentives they give. So, in a given quarter, we have tremendous tax incentives because we are a very large financer of windmills and solar and affordable housing, and that's been preserved in the dialogue so far. We'll see what comes out of Congress. But it's important to provide incentives for this change. Is $500 billion enough? When you look at it in the context of the $2 trillion a year that's required, but remember, it's catalytic money. That's what the money of the government does. It enables things to happen. The real money is going to come from the trillions of dollars of expenditure by all these companies in the private sector driving it.
The last time that the United Nations held a COP summit was in 2015, and it produced what became the Paris Agreement. What do you expect to come out of this summit? Will there be something as seismic as that agreement?
Everybody points to the 2 weeks in Scotland or whatever it is and says, oh, that is a thing. It's really a lead up to it. It's a rallying cry for the world to continue to make movement on this at a faster and faster pace and raising the energy level once again. And that's the nice thing, especially after 2 years of pandemic, when people, a year and a half or so, when people haven't been together, get people together and say, we have to move with pace, we have to make the commitments. And here's a couple weeks to sort of catalyze that or categorize that or assess that. But the reality is all the work that goes up to it and beyond it are the important things.
So that public money should catalyze private investment on this front. But as far as that agreement, Democrats are deep in negotiations. Earlier today, Press Secretary Jen Psaki was asked repeatedly where negotiations stood and whether there would be an agreement before the president leaves tomorrow. She said that she hopes that global partners take note of what the administration is trying to achieve, even if it's not agreed yet. Back to you.